Morning, all of you. So in the last class, we were discussing how to find the cutoff frequency FH by using the open circuit time constant method. So I will explain this once more and then we will proceed with the numerical problem. That is, whenever in our design, they have not provided the equation for high frequency gain function FH of us. In that case, we have to derive the cutoff frequency by using some analytical procedure. So for that, we are going for this open circuit time constant method. Okay. So if they have given this high frequency gain function directly, means we can find the dominant pole, or we can identify the locations of zeros and poles, and by using the general formula, we will be able to find the cutoff frequency. But today we are discussing how to find the cutoff frequency FH by using circuit analysis, that is open circuit time constant method, whenever they are not giving any high frequency gain function expressions. Okay. So even if they are not giving the high frequency gain function equation, still you will be able to find the value of the cutoff frequency by simple method, which is called as open circuit time constant method. So for that, what we have to do is we have to find the value of B1. Okay, you can see that the B1 is nothing but 1 divided by omega P1 plus 1 divided by omega P2, etc. up to 1 divided by omega Pn, where omega P1, omega P2 till omega Pn corresponds to the frequency of poles. Okay, so we have to find B1 first, and based upon the value of B1, we will be able to find the cutoff frequency omega h by using this equation, where omega h is equal to 1 by B1, which is further equal to 1 divided by sigma e is equal to 1 to n Ci Ri 0. So C means it is a capacitance and R is a resistance. So we will have a number of capacitance in our circuit. Okay. So based upon the given circuit for the analysis, we will find out each of these capacitance and the resistance, input resistance obtained after looking through the capacitance one by one. Okay. So as per this formula, we are having n capacitances in our circuit. So we will take one capacitance at a time. Understood? And remaining other capacitance will be deactivated by keeping it as open circuit, and only one capacitance we will be taking into consideration at a time. And after looking into that particular capacitance, whatever the resistance you are having, okay, the equivalent resistance you are having, that is represented by Ri0. Suppose if it is C1, the capacitance you are taking is C1, and looking into this capacitance C1, your resistance is R1, then the product of that C1 and R1 is nothing but your B1. Similarly, if there is second capacitance, means what you have to do? We have to find C2 into R20. That means we have to take the effect of C2 and looking through C2, whatever the resistance you are finding, that will be your R20, product those two things, and you have to add with your previous product. So likewise, we have to take n number of capacitance into account one by one. Okay. Then find the resistance after looking into those capacitive terminals. Please ensure that if you are taking one capacitance at a time, the remaining capacitance should be deactivated by keeping the open circuit. Okay. And we will find the summation, and taking the reciprocal, you will get the value of omega h. So once you get omega h, then we can find fh, which is equal to 1 divided by, what is the relationship between omega and f? Omega is equal to, yes, what is the relationship between omega and frequency? Omega is equal to 2 pi f, right? So f is equal to omega divided by 2 pi. Okay. So once you get the high frequency omega h, from that we can easily calculate the cutoff frequency of h by simply dividing it with 2 pi. So this is the procedure that we have discussed in the last class. Now let us do a simple example based upon this concept. Okay. So please recall, we are going to find the cutoff frequency of an amplifier by using open circuit time constant method. So why we are going for this open circuit time constant method is, In case you are not provided with the high frequency gain function, you will not be able to identify the poles and zeros, and without which you will not be able to calculate the cutoff frequency by using the general expression whatever we have derived earlier. Okay, but now if the high frequency gain function is not given to you, still by making use of some circuit analysis that is called as open circuit time constant method, we will be able to calculate the cutoff frequency omega h. So how we are going to do this? That is, we will take one by one capacitance into account, and whereas the remaining capacitance will be deactivated, and looking into the capacitive terminal, whatever the resistance we are getting, that we have to multiply that corresponding resistance and capacitance we have to multiply. Then we have to add all these time constants together. Time constant is nothing but the product of the resistance and capacitance. Then we will add all these product together. Okay, then take the reciprocal, that will be your omega h. Once you get omega h, then from that we can calculate our cutoff frequency h. Now all of you take down this example. Figure shows the high frequency equivalent circuit of a CS MOS amplifier, that is common source MOS amplifier. We have RL dash, which is equal to RD parallel, RL parallel, R0. So all the resistance we are taking into consideration, that is the overall output resistance is nothing but the drain resistance, the load resistance, as well as the R0. R0 is nothing but your output resistance, which is internally connected between the drain and source terminal. And we are having two capacitances in this particular circuit, that is CGS and CGD, which can be considered as internal capacitances between the terminals gate and source and gate and drain. So since we are having two capacitances, it is understood that we need to find out two time constants. Okay, time constant is nothing but the product of the capacitance and the respective resistance, whatever we are seeing through that particular terminal. So it is explicitly mentioned in the question that we are having two capacitors. So whenever we are having two capacitors, it is understood that we should find two time constants. Time constant is nothing but the product of resistance and capacitance. Resistance is nothing but the resistance obtained after looking into the terminal of the particular capacitance. Then RC is given 100 kilo ohm. The input resistance is 420 kilo ohm. The value of CGS and CGD is given as 1 picofarad. Transconductance GM is 4 milliampere per volt. So all the parameters is given to you. So based upon this, figure is also given to you. Based upon the figure, circuit diagram, as well as this parameters, we're going to find the high frequency response. I mean, the high cutoff frequency. And the overall resistance RL dash is 3.33 kilo ohm. RL dash is already, it is given. RL dash is RD parallel, RL parallel, R0. It is given as 3.33 kilo ohm. And based upon this given parameter, we are going to find the cutoff frequency FH as well as a midband gain AM. And we have already discussed the concept of midband gain in the previous class. Okay. Midband gain is nothing but the gain obtained in the low frequency region. You know that for an amplifier in the low frequency region, the gain is maximum, right? That is nothing but your AM. But after FH, what will happen? The gain will start decreasing. Okay, that FH we are going to find out, which is nothing but your 3 dB cutoff frequency. Clear? So we are going to find both the parameters. One is the midband gain, and second one is the 3 dB cutoff frequency FH. And the given circuit is, so this is given to you. Please take down. This equivalent circuit is already given to you. So from this figure, we observe that we are having two capacitances between the junctions gate and drain, that is represented by CGD, and between gate and source we are having CGS. Source is grounded. Okay, so this ground terminal is considered to be the source terminal. So since we are having two capacitances, it is understood that we have to find two time constants. Then time constant is nothing but the product of RC. Then add those RCs, take the reciprocal, that will be your omega h. And if you get omega h, simply divide by 2 pi, you will get fh. Okay, now let us start solving the circuit. So first we will go for the midband voltage gain. So how to find the midband voltage gain is that all the capacitance should be open circuited. Okay, in order to find the midband voltage gain AM, we need to consider all the capacitances as open circuit. Okay, so place CGD and CGS as open circuit so that you can redraw the circuit as shown in this particular figure. Okay, don't get confused. In order to find the cutoff frequency only, we are going to consider one by one capacitance one by one. But in this case, we are finding the midband voltage gain first. So this is called as midband equivalent circuit. So for midband analysis, all the capacitances are to be considered as open circuit. Whereas for determining the high frequency cutoff frequency FH, then we will consider one by one capacitances. And then we will find out the time constants individually and add together and then take the reciprocal. That is for the cutoff frequency FH. But now we are calculating the midband gain. So for that, you have to redraw the equivalent circuit in such a way that all the capacitances should be open circuit. So your equivalent circuit will look like this. That is between gate and drain, an open circuit is being seen, and you have simply removed the capacitances between the gate and source. Whereas the remaining circuit portion is simply same. Okay, there is no change. Only this I have removed. I mean CGD I have removed and CGS also I have removed. Okay. Now let me call the voltage across the gate and ground terminal as VGS. Okay, VGS can be considered as the voltage across the gate and ground, whereas the ground is your source terminal. So this RSig and RN along with your VSig voltage will act as a potential divider network. So this is a potential divider network. Now start applying the voltage divider rule and write the expression for VGS in terms of VSig. Write the expression for VGS in terms of VSig.
Rn into Vsig divided by Rsig plus Rn, sir.
VGS is equal to Vsig into, that is the input voltage, into the resistance across which we are finding the voltage, that is nothing but your Rn, divided by the sum of the resistances Rn plus Rsig. So this is the equation for VGS in terms of Vsig, Rn and Rsig. I will call it as equation number 2. Before that, I will write one more equation for our output voltage. Output voltage is the voltage across the load resistance RL dash. Why I am putting RL dash instead of RL? Because as per the question, it is given RL dash is the parallel effect of RD, RL as well as R0. The resistance which you have connected at the drain terminal, the external load resistance as well as internal output resistance. So all the three resistances together, the parallel effect is given as RL dash and its value is 3.33 kilo ohm according to the question. So what will be the equation for V naught? V naught is output current into the resistance. The current is GM into VGS. You can see that this is your current source. So current into resistance. So V naught is equal to GM VGS into RL dash. Let it be equation number 1. And since this is a common source amplifier, I should put a negative symbol here, because for positive input, your output will be the negative output, right? The amplified version, and it will be a negative voltage. So always I have to mention a negative sign at the output equation. So that is equation number 1 and 2. So now you got the equation for the output voltage as well as equation for your VGS, which is nothing but the voltage across gate and source. Now we are going to find the gain. So for this, substitute 2 in 1, because I need to eliminate this VGS. I should put it in terms of VSIG. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this VGS in terms of VSIG. So put 2 in 1 so that you will get an equation in terms of V0 and VSIG, and simply by rearranging we will be able to calculate the gain. So this can be considered as your mid-band gain AM. Okay, so after taking this VSIG to the left hand side, the ratio between V0 to VSIG is nothing but your AM, that is your mid-band gain, and the equation is given by minus GM RL dash into RN divided by RN plus RSIG. This is the mid-band gain of this particular amplifier. So please remember the procedure to find the mid-band gain. That is based upon the given equivalent circuit. You have to remove all the capacitances and redraw the circuit, and then you have to find an equation for V0, find the equation for VGS in terms of VSIG, then substitute the second equation in the first equation, and get an equation where you will have V0 and VSIG, then find the ratio that will be your mid-band gain. So for finding the mid-band gain, you will not consider any capacitances. All the capacitance have to be open circuited. Only the resistance will be there in the circuit along with your voltages. This is called as mid-band gain equation, and from this equation we can substitute all the given parameters and let us find the value of A. All the parameters are given to you. Please see the question, substitute and tell me the answer in the chat box. Yes, please put your answers. Substitute all the parameters. See the question, what are the given parameters? GM is 4 milliampere per volt. RL dash is 3.33 kilo ohm. RSIG is 100 kilo ohm. RN is also given to you. RN is 420 kilo ohm. Yes, it is 10.75 or 10.8. So your gain will be negative 10.8. So this is the process of finding the voltage gain AM. Any doubts in this? Now let us proceed with the second part of this question. Second part is to find cutoff frequency FH. So in order to find the cutoff frequency FH, first let us determine omega H, because after finding omega H in radians per second, you can find it by dividing simply with the 2 pi. So for that, we will go with the open circuit time constant method. So what is open circuit time constant method? We will take one capacitance at a time, and remaining capacitance will be discarded, right? So first, let us take CGS. The resistance RGS seen by CGS is found, and by setting CGD equal to 0 and short circuiting VSIG. Okay, so this is a procedure. What we will do is we will take one capacitance at a time. We know that we are having two capacitance right now. One is CGS and another one is CGD. So first, let us take CGS. Okay, let us take CGS into account and let us remove the effect of CGD. Okay, removing the effect of CGD means let it be open circuited, or let us assume this as 0. Okay, so CGD can be assumed as 0. So we will not consider the CGD into account. So we will take only the effect of CGS. Then looking through the CGS, whatever the resistance we are getting, that we have to draw. Okay, looking through the CGS towards the input side, whatever the resistance I'm getting, that I have to draw. But while drawing that equivalent circuit, you have to be careful that the voltage source have to be deactivated. So since this is a voltage source, I should short circuit it. So I will not take care of CGD. Okay, I can replace it as 0 or short circuit. Then across the open circuit terminal of CGS, okay, one plate is at the gate and another plate is connected to the source. So between the gate and source, I should look into the input side, and whatever the resistance I am getting, that effective resistance is nothing but your Ri. Okay, that is a resistance obtained after looking through CGS. So can you tell me whether RSig and Rn are in parallel or they are in series? If I can replace VSig with a short circuit, kindly analyze the circuit and tell me whether RSig and Rn are in series or in parallel. When you're looking into this direction across gate and ground.
Parallel, sir.
Yes, they are parallel, right? Parallel means the two terminals are shared commonly, isn't it? See, one end of RSig and the other end of Rn, they have connected here. The other two ends are grounded. So they are sharing common terminals at both the ends. So they are assumed as parallel resistances. So come back to the equivalent circuit for the case one. Case one means we are considering CGS alone. Okay, CGS alone and CGD is discarded. And VSig is also short circuited. So this is the equivalent circuit that you got. And from this analysis, you got RGS. RGS is nothing but the resistance obtained after considering CGS into account. Okay, right now I have considered CGS in my analysis. So looking through CGS, I got RSig and R in parallel. Therefore, I can write RGS as RGS is a resistance that I got between gate and ground. So RGS is equal to RSig parallel Rn. Substitute the value of RSig and Rn, that is 420 parallel 100, that will be 80.8 kilo ohm. So once you get the resistance, now next step is we have to calculate the time constant. Time constant is denoted as tau GS. Why I am specifically mentioning GS? Because now as per case one, I have considered CGS into account. Therefore, I am going to calculate the time constant correspond to GS, gate source terminals. Okay, so I am going to define tau GS. Tau GS is nothing but the product of resistance that you have obtained just now into CGS. That is RGS into CGS. RGS is 80.8 kilo ohm. That is into 10 to the power 3. Kilo convert into ohm. Multiplied by CGS is given as 1 picofarad. That is 1 into 10 to the power minus 12. So you will get an answer in 10 to the power minus 9. That is nothing but your nano seconds, 80.8 nanoseconds. It is time constant. So the unit is 80.8 nanoseconds. This is your first part. Okay. With one capacitance, you have found out the time constant. Similarly, next what you have to find, I have to retain my CGD there. Okay. and at the same time CGS is to be discarded, and with the effect of CGD, whatever the resistance you are getting, that you have to find out, and thereafter you have to find out tau GD. Once you find tau GS and tau GD, then you can directly find my cutoff frequency FH. So that we will do tomorrow. So now all of you are supposed to take quiz 1 from the Google Classroom. Now I will post it. Okay. See, you are set, and then accordingly you do. Okay. The wrong entries means I won't take for the evaluation. Already you know the USNs, corresponding USNs and the set allocation. So accordingly you have to enter the answers in the Google form. So the first 10 minutes, the set A will be enabled. Then for the next 10 minutes, set B will be enabled. Then next 10 minutes, set C will be enabled. Okay. So this problem we will continue in the next class. I hope you understood this concept. Any doubts means you can ask. Okay, can I end the meeting? Now I'll share the quiz link. So don't ask me to enable the quiz link after 10 minutes. Okay. So for the set A correctly, I will be disabling the link at 10:40. Again, set B, I will be disabling the link at 10:50. And for set C, sharp at 11 o'clock, I will disable the link. So don't ask for any grace time. Okay. Thank you, students. Join Google Classroom.